How you doing, guys? This is Matthias Atva from Dee Rek Dreadnought, your Dreadnought PS4 replay guy. It's Saturday, December 8th, 2 days after what I'm calling the Dreadnought Quickplay patch, and I thought it was about time for a Dreadnought and YouTube channel update. If you're one of the many fans of the Dreadnought Officer Briefing review series, don't worry, I will be posting part 3 on navigation tomorrow. Before we get to what's new and what to expect on Dee Rek Dreadnought, I thought we'd jump right into Thursday's update and give some feedback on the major changes and improvements. As with my other channel updates, I will have an awesome Athos replay in the background, but this time around, before the Athos replay, I will first have a few images of the Dreadnought update. So let's go over what exactly this update did for the PS4 server community. I went over the official patch notes for this release about a week ago in a separate video, which I'll link at the end of this video. So if you want to know more about the nitty-gritty specifics, you should check out the emergency update video. For now, let's jump in on the big changes, bug fixes, and some unexpected surprises included in the Quickplay patch. First of all, with the release of the Quickplay patch, double experience is officially over, so I hope you made good use of this extended event and leveled up your ships. Also, it's worth noting that the Jupiter Arms Predator Corvette refit skin is no longer free in the market. Speaking of the market, the new Hasta Oberon Tier 3 artillery hero ship is now available, along with better item descriptions of several market items. The Hasta is a decent looking ship at first glance and very cheap at 800 gold. The nose art and paint job look pretty cool, but upon closer inspection you realize the rest of the ship skin is just a recolored Tier 5 Stabia Oberon artillery cruiser, which is kind of disappointing to be honest, and seems a little lazy for a hero ship design you actually have to spend money on. Next, let's take a look at what the Dreadnought dev team consider the premier feature of this patch, Quickplay. The Quickplay feature is well liked and received by the vast majority of the PS4 community and makes grinding or jumping right into battle that much faster. It's now found at the top of the home screen, but only after you have queued your first match of the day, so don't panic if you don't see it at first. Don't worry, nothing went wrong on the download, it's there, it's just the way this feature works. With less space on the hangar home screen, the Fleets tab has been removed, but don't worry, you can still easily look at your ships in your fleets from the Play tab, or view your ships individually from the Ships tab, so no big loss there. Now let's look at the other big new feature added in this update, which is a complete overhaul and redesign of the module and weapon icons, both in the tech trees and during actual gameplay. When I first heard about this new content, I have to say I didn't think much of it and wasn't very excited, but now after seeing all the new icons for the modules, I have to admit that they look really cool, and not only that, they make a lot of sense and make it easier to see at just a glance what the module is and what it does. Everything makes sense, with RAM modules having the head of a ram on them, status effect modules having little pictures of the actual effects such as drain, scramble, disruptor, etc. Energy gen has a little lightning bolt. Thrust modules have little engine pictures, and buffs and debuffs have little sets of arrows going up and down. Overall, I'm very pleased with the module icon designs. I think they make your time in the tech tree a lot easier and enjoyable, and makes gameplay for some of the newer players a little less overwhelming, as now they can glance at their modules and know which ones are which and what to use them for. As a quick side note, I had a small issue with some of the in-game graphics being too bright or too distracting, most notably the hell lasers, which made it a little hard to stay on target and play the game. However, to my pleasant surprise, it seems that hell lasers, anti-missile lasers, and some other game effects have been toned down and cleaned up. The fact that the devs addressed this without many complaints and without really promoting it really impressed me, and I've noticed some other in-game graphics have been really polished up, which I think is great. Okay, with the market stuff out of the way, let's go to what I think is the most important part of the game update, specifically gameplay stability. I've been playing for about 2 days now, and I'm so happy to report that I haven't had a single blue screen, black screen, or freeze since the patch, and I haven't been restarting my Dreadnought app either. That's great news because although the PS4 community is fanatically loyal, the rampant blue screen issue, which seemed much worse in Legendary mode, really had an adverse effect on player morale. While this is simply called addressed and improved stability issues in the patch notes, I have to say that for most players, this is the most important and best change from this update. Well, let's take a look at the other big news with the Quickplay patch, the nerfs and buffs. I give a more in-depth rundown of these changes in my Steam patch notes update, which is called the emergency update. That again will be linked at the end of this video. But I did want to touch on some of the more dramatic game and meta changes here. First, nukes. Wow, now they are nukes. Although the Starling and Tartarus really haven't changed, the nuclear missile has had a minor damage buff and a substantial, as in holy crap, buff to the area of effect. This thing now has a blast radius of over 8,000 meters. Now you can aim your entire team's nukes at poor old Matthias Atva and probably catch 3 to 4 of my team members in the massive cavalcade of radioactive explosions. Actually, this has already happened to me in-game a lot. So, moving on. As you may know, drain debuff effects from pulses and torpedoes have been standardized to a 10-second downtime on the target's energy generator, and now do about 20 to 40 less energy drain when they hit, depending on tier. This sounds like a massive nerf, but in reality, most of the time your target isn't going to have a full energy bar, so I don't think this is the end of Drain Pulse, to be honest. Now, it's just not the game over 100% of the time it used to be. But it will still cause the respawn of many a player, and an important note is that artillery cruiser drain missiles seem to do the old 100 to 125 point drain they used to, so hint hint guys. The nerf I think is the most severe and possibly harsh and unnecessary is the missile count nerf and damage nerf of the Storm missiles. Tier 5 Storms used to hit for close to 30,000 damage, and Tier 4 wasn't far behind. Tier 3 Storms are not very damaging, so meh. But in the patch notes we saw that the missile count had been drastically reduced. This caused many players to assume this was an indirect buff for anti-missile lasers and hell lasers, and that the damage of each missile would actually increase, but it has not. In fact, the damage of the 2-kilometer Storm missiles have fallen below that of the 5-kilometer missile repeater, and now hovers precariously close to the Tempest missile's damage, which can reach out and touch you at 7,000 meters. Granted, Storms come at their target very fast and aggressively, not giving missile defense or even shields much time to mitigate the damage, but with such short range, relatively low damage, and now fairly modest missile count, I have to ask, why bother with Storms? Sure, the missile repeaters can be very temperamental sometimes and have a long cooldown, but they can reach out and hurt someone pretty bad, very reliably and effectively up to 4,000 meters and a little less reliably at 5, and although the Tempest missiles are often the topic of several inside jokes, their range and low cooldown make them very effective at raw DPS missile firepower over the course of the entire match. To be honest, I'm a little puzzled over this particular nerf and wonder if the devs took it a little too far with the Storm missiles. Okay, last but certainly not least is a redress of a tech tree bug that had been bugging a lot of players for a while, is not being able to use the previous tiers modules on higher tier ships. I'm happy to report that with this patch, this bug is now fixed, so when you jump into the next higher tier ship, you are not doing it with a stock loadout, but with the modules you are used to and your favorite builds that will carry you to victory and more experience. I have been eagerly awaiting this bug fix for some time, and now I can finally get some battle experience on my Tier 5 Oberon ships. Well, that wraps up the major highlight of the quick patch update. So, what's new with Dee Rek Dreadnought? First, I wanted to say thanks. Not just to all my viewers, but all my subscribers, new and old, who have kept me going in the hobby and encouraged me to constantly improve my content and get the word out about Dreadnought. I never thought my humble replays and review content would get as many views as they have, but now I often get over 100 views on many videos in just a couple days, which takes most Dreadnought content creators' videos months to achieve. And I even have several videos well over 300 views, one over 400 views, and one well over the 500 view marker. More importantly, I'm getting more subscribers every week, and all of my comments, every single one, have been pleasant and awesome, and I really do appreciate that. Thank you guys. None of this would be possible without you. However, I have to say I am a little disappointed that although the PS4 player base is the larger Dreadnought community, we don't see very many PS4 content creators at all. I watch many Dreadnought replays and videos on YouTube, and the vast majority of them and seemingly all the Dreadnought partners are from the PC community. I'm not salty about the subject, and I realize Dreadnought is a business and that they need partners and content contributors that bring in more customers, not just cater to existing fans, but a little love from Dreadnought to the few of us PS4 Dreadnought content creators would be much appreciated. However, not being a Dreadnought partner does offer some advantages, as I can give you my honest opinions about the game and where it's headed, even if it may go against the grain of the Dreadnought development team sometimes. Now, with that out of the way, I wanted to talk a little about where the channel has been, what my fans and viewers seem to like and not care for, and where we might go in the future. First, I wanted to mention that I really do enjoy consistency and quality, and I've always tried to maintain a regular schedule and make good quality replays and content, and not just post replays directly from my PS4's hard drive and paste them on YouTube. As I've gotten better and more knowledgeable with video editing over the last few months, I decided I need to polish up my replay intros, the quality of the memes and texts, add more voiceovers, and create more additional content such as reviews and updates, not just replays. I made a lot of changes about 2 months ago when the big Steam update went down, but I think they were for the better, and now that I have all of my brand new 8v8 openings done, a clean and polished look, and an idea of what you, the fans, like, I think things have hit a nice stable place for the channel. Perhaps in the future I won't post as many as 5 replays a week if life becomes more hectic, but for the near future I don't think posting replays often will be as much of a challenge as it used to be when I started only 5 to 6 months ago. I'm going to finish my Officer Briefing review series next weekend, and afterwards I'll try my best to release non-replay Dreadnought or sci-fi review content every weekend if my schedule allows. However, surprisingly, although my replays get a good amount of views, more than my review content, according to my channel analytics, neither are my most popular or viewed categories. In fact, everyone seems to like my Dreadnought news and channel updates the most. Because of this, I've made it a priority to keep an eye out for new Dreadnought events, news, updates, and patches so I can get you guys the info as soon as I can process the video. Besides that, I've also decided I'm going to strive to make a new channel update video at least once a month to keep you guys posted and in the loop about not only what's new in Dreadnought, but what you guys can expect from me and my channel, Dee Rek Dreadnought. One last topic I want to mention is that I've tried branching out to include as many ships from as high a tier possible from all 3 of the Dreadnought Mega Corporation factions. What brought me viewers to my channel in the past were my Jupiter Arms artillery replays, to a lesser extent my Corvette replays, and my Destroyer replays. Lately though, it seems my viewers have changed their taste a little, and although my Oberon and Akula Vector replays still get many views, they aren't as popular as my Jupiter Arms replays. Not only that, but my tactical replays from all three corporations are the least watched and enjoyed replays, even the ones where I get 16 to 18 kills and no deaths, even from Legendary mode. Right now my most popular replays are the artillery replays, especially Jupiter Arms, which is no surprise, and my Athos replays. For me this is good news because while I don't enjoy artillery as much as destroyers or corvettes, I still like the sniping game and will have no problem delivering more artillery cruiser content. The positive feedback over my post-Steam 8v8 Athos replays are the best news of all because I love the Athos. It's my favorite ship, and even when it has been fully researched and seen thousands of battles, the Athos will still have the #1 slot in my legendary fleet. So expect more Athos replays coming soon against some very tough opponents. That just about covers all the news about the Dreadnought Quickplay update and what's new on the Dee Rek Dreadnought channel. As always, feel free to leave a comment, as so many have found I get back to each and every one, and will often give the best advice I can on Dreadnought gameplay. Leaving a comment is also the best way to make sure you get the content made that you want to see. If you'd like to know more about how to improve your gameplay, check out my 5 tips to make you a better Dreadnought player video and my Dreadnought Officer Briefing review series. And of course, stay tuned for more awesome Legendary and Veteran mode replays on most, if not every weekday. Well, that's it from me for now, and I'll see you soon in Sinley Bay.